Canada is and always has been our country. It must be a country of hope.
Of course, the upshot is this: the small business EI hiring credit is something we can afford to do without raising your taxes. Conservatives say.
We began to build a Canada that would be truly strong and free, the true north.
Our leader, Canada's Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Well, my team and I have come up with the Canada Economic Action Plan. This plan involves a $61 billion injection into the economy in order to stimulate the creation of jobs. There will be 6 main goals of this plan. First, to permanently reduce taxes. The goal is to reduce them by $20 billion in the next 5 fiscal years. We will also increase child benefits by $436 per family with 2 children and implement the home renovation tax credit, which will be up to $1,350. There will also be the working income tax benefit and the tax relief for businesses. We also want to implement the enhanced employment insurance programs and training programs to help the unemployed. Additionally, improving and creating new infrastructure is important to create jobs, and improving the infrastructure of colleges and universities supporting research and technology to create the economy of tomorrow. Moreover, we will also help support companies and communities most affected by the global recession. Finally, we will improve access and affordability of financing for households and businesses. These actions will be implemented so that we will be able to unite together to help better unemployment in Canada.
First, let's talk about the Canada Economic Action Plan. Many changes have occurred as a result of this plan. Due to the tax reductions, Canada became the country with the lowest overall tax rate on business investments out of the G7 by 2010, experiencing the strongest growth out of these countries. The Employment Insurance Program yielded $5.8 billion in benefits in 2009 alone. As for improving infrastructure to create jobs, more than $7.6 billion in federal funding was allocated towards more than 4,700 infrastructure projects worth over $21 billion. Additionally, for Mr. Harper's goal to create the economy of tomorrow, $929 million was committed to university and college infrastructure, with 381 projects underway. $35 million was committed to new Canada Graduate Scholarship Awards, and another $35 million for the Arctic research infrastructure. Moreover, in an effort to support the communities and businesses most affected by the global recession, $14 billion was allocated to support the adjustment and to help create and protect jobs. This includes $350 million for 600 projects under the Community Adjustment Fund. There was also the launch of the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario and Northern Canada Economic Development Agency. Finally, the result of their goal to improve access to and affordability of financing for households and businesses, $131 billion in financing support was allotted on a commercial basis to protect taxpayers. The average rate of interest paid by households and businesses have fallen. They have also implemented programs to support home ownership, including the temporary home renovation tax credit, the first-time home buyer's tax credit, greater access to the RRSP to purchase a first home, and the enhanced eco-energy retrofit program. Additionally, $650 million has been designated for investments in social housing, involving 153 projects for building and renovating housing for the First Nations in Northern Canada. Overall, this plan has been fairly successful, with more than an additional 1 million Canadians working than at the end of the recessions, with most being full-time, high-wage private sector positions. GDP is now above pre-recession levels, and Canada has the strongest GDP per capita income growth. Finally, Canada has become the only country in the G7 to receive a AAA rating with a stable outlook from all the major credit agencies. Harper, as a full-time worker, what effect will reduced unemployment benefits for the unemployed people have on me?
Well, the reduction of unemployment benefits means that the government can now relocate money away from these benefits towards something that they feel may be more beneficial. This means that money can be allocated towards training programs and towards new infrastructure to help unemployment from a different manner. This could also help to work towards my government's goal of reduced taxes. Overall, it helps create a more productive society.
Why are my tax dollars being used for schooling for children that aren't even mine and likely won't help me at all?
While these may not seem to be your children, these students are the society and the economy of tomorrow. Giving them proper schooling and enhanced training programs will, as previously stated, reduce the mismatch between employees looking for workers with a certain skill set. And although it currently seems that this does not affect you now, these skilled workers will come in handy when you and your coworkers retire and the jobs you left behind need to be filled. It would be difficult to put these individuals in the jobs without giving them proper training. And I know you will ask, but why my tax dollars? But the fact of the matter is, not all families have enough for their children to pay for these schools and programs themselves. The way I see it is that everyone must pitch in for a better society overall.
Mr. Harper did also make some not so great decisions during his term. I'm talking about the Canada Job Grant. Overall, I believe the concept was superb. This program was meant to help employees better train workers for unoccupied jobs. The goal of this was to reduce the mismatch of skills in 2014, or structural unemployment. This issue was propagated by the realization that even 6 years after the recession, unemployment was still above the standard, and the real unemployment rate was approximately 10%. However, Mr. Harper's party made the mistake of assuming that this was because of a mismatch of skills, when really it was due to a lack of jobs. His solution involved decreasing employment insurance to give unemployed people incentive to get a job, increasing foreign workers to fill alleged skill shortages, subsidizing employers to give training, and trying to decrease trade union power, such as with construction workers. This grant did decrease the unemployment caused by mismatched skills, or structural unemployment, but did not account for the unemployment due to the lack of jobs, or demand-deficient unemployment. The result of this was therefore stagnant wage growth, more foreign workers employed at minimum wage jobs, and a reduction in jobs due to the influx of foreign workers.
Canadians are tired of that kind of leadership.
It's been one of the longest campaigns in Canadian history. American politics
Stepped back
Mr. Trudeau,
from
under
any
this
sort of
government,
confidence
emissions are
building
down
government
3%.
in Quebec, in Ontario, Manitoba, in Saskatchewan, in Alberta, in Northwest Territories.
It's time for a change in this country, my friends, a real change.
First of all, I would like to emphasize the point that our unemployment rate has not budged by very much in the last 4 years. There are, of course, a multitude of underlying issues that have to do with a lack in education and training for the unemployed, as well as not enough job opportunities for the youth of our nation. I want to work together with our youth. I plan to implement the Youth Employment Strategy, which will create 40,000 jobs each year for the youth for the first 3 years through an investment of $300 million. Afterwards, funding will be raised to $385 million. Creating more jobs increases the demand for labor. It makes it easier for graduating students who are just entering the workforce to find good jobs. This annual increase of 40,000 jobs includes a section of 5,000 youth green jobs. Our government will fund internships for these post-secondary students working in agriculture, and this will be done in 2 streams. The first stream, the Green Farms stream, grants farms up to $10,000 per youth intern. The second, the Green Internship stream, applies to all agricultural employers who do not work directly on farms, but in other services that benefit the agricultural sector, such as research. These employers can receive up to $16,000 for each post-secondary graduate intern that they take on. As can be seen in our unemployment rate, it seems that whatever Mr. Harper has done has either stopped working or not helped to increase employment in our country at all. These are mainly minority groups such as Aboriginals or disabled people who still have difficulty making successful transitions into the workplace. Currently, there are 11,000 Canadian youth getting access to Skills Link, which is a program that helps these minorities maneuver around unemployment barriers such as disabilities, single parenthood, lack of education, living in reserves and other remote areas, and immigration. Our government intends on doubling the amount of people granted access to this in order to ensure these Canadians are able to find work. By reducing the amount of time these unemployed workers spend seeking jobs, the amount of frictional unemployment is reduced, building a better future for us Canadians. This is perhaps one of the most important of the policies that we intend on implementing in regards to direct help provided to students who come from low and middle income families. Post-secondary education is instrumental in building a better society and will undoubtedly give these individuals an advantage when they enter the workforce seeking jobs. The maximum student grant for low-income families will increase to $3,000 per year for full-time students, and we are planning to give more students access to Canadian student grants and the $750 million we have allotted towards this area. This will be done in order to reduce the structural unemployment within our country so that we can reshape a brighter future for Canada. We were recently able to help out a young lady named Sarah who lives in Hamilton.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm a student at Westside High. I'm currently living with my mom, who is the most amazing person ever. Before, post-secondary school was just not an option for me. I was planning to work out of high school so that I can help support my mom. Now, post-secondary education seems like a more viable option for me, thanks to the financial support my family gets from the government student grants. If I work hard in school now and do well in my economics class, I can afford to go to college or university. This will help me be more qualified and get a good job so I can help pay back my parents.
Definitely, we are going to be ending the rule that discriminates against workers who have just entered the labor force. They are now required to accumulate a minimum of 910 hours of work in order to qualify for employment insurance benefits. Not only this, but the waiting time for these benefits will be decreased from 2 weeks to 1. The goal of this is to reduce frictional unemployment because our people will now be more incentivized to start seeking jobs earlier and reducing the time that they take to seek jobs.
Hi, I'm Laura, a fisher in the summer and fall, but now that winter's coming, the lakes are freezing, and my business does not support ice fishing. So as soon as the lakes freeze up, I'll not be able to find fish and sell them in order to earn an income, meaning that I am out of a job and considered unemployed. This is known as seasonal unemployment. Luckily for me, Prime Minister Trudeau's policy means that my employment insurance benefits will kick in almost immediately, 1 week after I'm out of work instead of 2. In doing so, I will proceed with the extra few $100s that I desperately needed this time.
Yes, I definitely agree. Technology is a wonderful thing, and every day we are getting closer and closer to perfecting artificial intelligence. In fact, our nation prides itself on being a leader in this sector. Research programs at the University of Montreal and McGill have made immense progress in this area. Because of this, our government plans to continue the funding of this research in artificial intelligence. In fact, $125 million will be allocated towards attracting graduate students into the field of research and development. This in turn will also create jobs, although it is unlikely that robots will be taking up our jobs, at least for now. It should not be for another few decades that this will pose a problem to our labor market.